Oh, okay. So, good morning, everyone. And shall I make also one co-host? No, it's fine. No problem. I will manage that. So, mainly, thank you for you, Dr. Asma, to have this opportunity and speak more about research designing and how we can work with the people on the future to create the ecosystem. Actually, as we discussed before about it. I hope it will be also interesting because we need to hear more from you in the ground, also from the
Dr.
academy.
Badih?
Yep.
Yeah, shall I start formally? Then we start recording. And so
Sure.
I just want to introduce you as well.
It's fine.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our webinar on how to design a commercially viable research project organized by Sohail University. I am Dr. Asma Tabassum, Director Audit, Sohail University, and I'm excited to see so many of you joining us from various institutions across Pakistan. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to express our gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to participate in this webinar. Today, we have the privilege of being guided by an esteemed expert in the field, Dr. Abdul Badih Al Dada, who will share his invaluable insights and expertise on designing research projects that are not only scientifically sound but also commercially viable. Without further delay, let me introduce our distinguished speaker. Dr. Abdul Badih Al Dada is an accomplished professional holding a PhD in business and economy, and he brings over 20 years of extensive experience across humanitarian development and private sectors. Widely recognized for his adept networking skills and his ability to devise sustainable ecosystem solutions. Dr. Aldada excels in conceiving innovative ideas and navigating complex multidisciplinary endeavors. With a rich portfolio spanning regions such as Middle East and North Africa, Gulf, Europe, and Asia, Dr. Aldada has showcased his proficiency in both developing and overseeing projects in diverse landscapes. His entrepreneurial spirit, combined with a strong focus on business, has empowered him to spearhead impactful initiatives aimed at fostering economic prosperity and societal advancement. We are honored to have him with us today to lead this session. Now I will hand it over to Dr. Abdul Badi Al Dada to kick off today's webinar. While Dr. Al Dada is presenting, feel free to use the chat box to ask any questions you may have. We will address them during the question answers session later. So please welcome Dr. Abdul Badi Al Dada. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. And Ramadan Kareem also. I think it's good during Ramadan and at the end of the month. We are very happy to have this fruitful session, inshallah. Thank you for the introduction, doctors, and thank you for the university to allow us to speak about this and to see how we can collaborate in this. Actually, also an ecosystem between the academia and the private sector to move forward and to be able to design projects where the future could be benefit from the innovative minds now with the new generations. We have it within our students and the universities. So when we are speaking about the commercializing of the designing and what's going to be the difference between as academic projects for the students in the graduations and how we can take it to another step to put it in action and in ground, let's say. Frankly, when we speak about these projects within the university, when we were in students, we hope that we be able to have some people to guide us in this. But in the university, you have everything you need actually as a student, because you have the doctors, you have their theoretical parts, their academia experience, where they can support us and developing this idea. What we are planning now is how we are going to join the private sector in the academia sessions, and how the researchers in the academia sector can put together the problems and create some innovative solutions, which could be a successful and business future for the students who can benefit from this journey within their study and within their career, actually later stage in the field. So briefly, when we speak about how we are going to develop these projects, mainly we are speaking about the practical activity. We want to have it in the ground. We want to see the researchers to highlight and to reflect what's the need in the ground. And this is actually one of the elements where the people, the private sector, have a lake on it. As a private sector in the ground, we always looking to have business, so we always need some more money. And to be able to generate more money, we need to always have creative and innovative idea. And this is where we have some gaps on generating this idea, because we didn't give the opportunity for the new generations who are currently and in the near future will be leading the market in their areas and in their community. And that's why we don't have the cycle of the sustainability and the contribution for this cycle, because we have one of the key rings and key elements on it, which is academic factors or academic perspective to be injected within this research. The people mainly, or the private sector, let's say the business mainly, they follow. When we speak about the private sector on a big scale, here where we have their not academic people, but they have the research and development sector. This research and development sector also, when we discuss with these departments in some places, rather than we are speaking about the mega companies and the mega institutions, always we have a bounded and framework where they found themselves attached to the area and to the field they are working on it, rather than seeing behind the box, seeing in a way where a new and let's say another dimension of the activity and another dimensions of the work could be an added value for them. And here, when we start to discuss about it, we can see in the global level how much is the startup bring to the economy, and how many startup and entrepreneurs have been increased, rather than when we discuss about the population, the population size. When we are speaking about Pakistan within the global category of, or the global rank of the population, we can see Pakistan is in the top 10, almost 5 or 6 as a ranking country in terms of population. While when we see on the innovation side, or when we see in the startup side, we can see that there is a lot of countries who are in the top ranking countries, generating ideas, generating startups. They don't have this much population. This is reflect to another forecasting and another, let's say, elements and factors which support these startups, and how they can bring their ideas into action and convert it into economy side. And here where we need to push our students through the academic structure, how they can benefit from their presence within their structure within the universities, to be able to contribute to the economy in the second side. And vice versa, when the private sector can see the benefit from these academia people, they will be able to contribute more on them. And we go through the Silicon Valley case, because this is one of the really success case story, and how they managed to put Silicon Valley as a destination, and everybody wants to boost his activity or to boost his business. If he's in the Silicon Valley, definitely has an added value than others people. And when we go through why Silicon Valley, it's one of the key areas in the world. We can see with the others and the studies has mentioned some key factors where it could be duplicated and replicated in many other places. And some of the countries start to put this into action. And in Pakistan, I think 2 3 years ago, they start to put on the techno park about such activity and to put it into practical activity. But also, this is one factor, because when we go through the factors of the success of these case studies, like when we speak about the innovation ecosystem, when we speak about the encouraging of the entrepreneurs, how can they incubate them, how can they benefit from their idea, how can they be in touch directly with the talent people and acquisition of their activity and work to improve them, they provide them with the technical skills needed for their activity. And here where when we go to the practical side, we can see that in some places the academia sector it's a little matching with for what we are discussing about it. We have one or two factors could be a need for this to be added for the students in terms of skills, in terms of business skills. We are speaking about the practical business skills, not the theoretical part, because within the theoretical part, we see that there is a lot of advance and improvement within the university. While we have the lake is on the practical part, where we'll be able to add this ideas and we'll be able to bring these characteristics things for the students in their journey of the study. And that's why when we have the activities running within the university, like what we are doing today, for example, it will be an added value for the students themselves to be in touch and in direct contacts with the field, with the future. When they are going outside of their university, they will be in touch with them, and they will be working directly with the field where they would like to be. So one of the third elements is the access of the venture capitals and the investors, where they will be able to invest in their ideas, in their innovation activities. But also here, for a lot of the startups that's supposed like this and the entrepreneurs, we see our products from our perspective, but we didn't see it from the other perspective or from the other side of the activity, which is the investor side. Because the investor side see it as investors, so mainly he's looking for money, and the people who are looking for money as investors, always they need to see uh, money and visibility studies budget facing them to be able to calculate their benefit and to be able to calculate their revenue. That's why they need to create these culture things about them. And that's why the collaboration now between the Silicon Valley, for example, startups, they put the mindset of those entrepreneurs, which is the students mainly at the beginning, to start thinking as a business people, not only as a students. And here where the added value will become, because those people, when they will be in action or in actual real world, they will start seeing the idea that they were discussing in the classroom as an activity for them, and applying such activity will be the lead generations for them to be able to build their business and to build their future. And the other side, we see the supportive infrastructures also within these institutions. For example, now in the ORIC centers, where you are be able now to bring the idea of the ORIC itself, it's innovative, and bringing such activities to the students. This is the first step that's taken like this to be able to change and sorry. Okay. So yeah. The infrastructure of the universities, which is the link and now the bridge between the academia period that people are living on it, where we used to study, we used to spend sometimes more than the time we spend it in our homes to reach our career field. Here, the hosting and here the infrastructures like incubation center, like the audit center, where the students who have innovative idea and be filtered, because definitely we cannot put all the people on the innovative centers or in the incubation center. There is a process where we need to filter the students to be able to bring a really a success and really innovative idea to put it in the ground. And in some places here we miss the students who don't know how to build their idea and how to design their idea, because designing ideas and designing the projects, it's itself something we need to build the capacity for our students for it. And within the academia sector, we take the theoretical part. Now within the ORIC Center, we'll be able to bring the practical part into action within the students. And here the merge will be able to have the switching and the moving from one mindset to another mindset of our students. And when we start working with ORIC centers in some countries, we start to bring only the practical activity and we keep the theoretical part within the university. But when we present this for the students during their activity, we already have our brainstorming together, our case studies will be presented within the theoretical framework, because this is the mindset now of the students still focusing on such activity and such. Yeah. So in developing these questions, always you have a big question bigger than us and bigger than the even our mentors and sometimes our research. And here where we try to break down that and breaking down these questions, it's for us it's more important because it will give us another idea or another perspective how we are going to answer these questions, first for us, and the second for the community who we want to present our products or services for them. At the end, the commercial part of our projects is business, so we need to generate our money, but also we need to ensure that it has sustainability, especially when we are speaking now with all the sustainability goals across the continent, how we are going to contribute for this activity and these goals. But also we need to take in action how we are going to keep this activity and these businesses within the sustainability framework. Because in some places going to business, we bring ourselves outside of the main road of the sustainability and keeping all this into the track. So from the early stage, when we developing this activity, breaking down this, as we are speaking about the, for example, the risk management, breaking down the root cause for this, and it's one of the favorable tools we can use it to be able to see what questions could be raised on us when we have these alternative solutions and alternative what they call it, products presentable for the people and for the, at least at the beginning, for the businessman. Now that's what we go, and in some places they start to split or to diversify or to make the research design into two part or two sections. One in the conceptual design of the projects itself, we need to answer like the major questions or the main question: what's the idea behind this? Why we are going to do this? How much is going to cost us this project? While when we start go deep more in designing these projects and designing the framework of the projects, we go into the technical part of the design. And here where when we start design, how we are going to reach out to this, and where we are going to apply our innovation, and where we are going to apply our products it's going to take place, or our service it's going to serve, and when it's going to be the right time. For example, if we took like this, uh, one of the biggest example is the Zoom, the technology and the softwares we are using it now. Before the COVID, Zoom was something like many other softwares used for virtual meetings, while the dominate software during that time was Skype. But during the COVID, the Zoom team think in a different way. That's why they add a lot of features for the Zoom, and they make it more friendly, and they manage to take the market out of the sky. And this is what is going to be the right place and the right time to inject and to launch their products, or at least to upgrade it, because we have a lot of products even within, if we're speaking about COVID, has been changed the life of the people. The e-commerce, for example, before the COVID, in a lot of countries, people don't trust even to make the payment online, but they have been forced during the COVID to be used the online and to be used the payment online. And that's why we see a lot of changes in the e-commerce system. And also this take us to another sequence which have been introduced as an additional business to affect all the logistic and all the supply chain for the people who are working on that. And the conceptualizing for these projects and the timing that they have been starting applying the activity, especially in the technology park, especially after COVID, we can see how much the metaverse, the AI has been also changed and has been in a rapid changing our world, because the idea has been improved a lot because the people need that. And for 2 years now, like during COVID and the year after, the people has discovered another world of technology, and that's why we see a lot of AI now has been pop up. The AI, it has been to be used before. The machine learning was used before, but it wasn't on the surface like what's happening now, because the people were afraid to trust the technology. While during the COVID, they used to see what technology could be done for them and what happened for them during that time. That's why it was the right time to start bringing up all this activity. Now, for example, with all this new technology, we start to see a lot of the booty chat, because every technology, every website now, WhatsApp, Telegram, another chat applications, people has been inject these applications within their businesses, and to be able to serve more, the need for something replace the secretary part has been introducing the booty chat for us, which help us to reduce the time of replying for our customers. And here where we'll be able to call the satisfying to make our customers satisfied. And that's why we see now there's a booming like shrimp of the mushroom of the boot activity, or the boot applications has been competed each other to be in the ground and to be able to serve their customers and their clients, and their clients as the businesses, and the clients of these boots, they are going to serve the end user, which is the customer. They provide the services for them, like directly. Like this is the research design, how it's designed in one of the methods of the breaking down for them, and the research is how it's going to be framed out. We will go through it on on the idea of speaking about the plan, because here where we will start to build our business and to make it commercialized. When we speak about the plan, we need to think in reverse thinking. So we need to see this product or this service in the ground, how it's going to work. We need to see it in our mind how it's going to be serving the community and serving their businesses. Other than wise, we will develop a project and we will lose some activity within the road. So as they mention always, if you don't plan well, you will plan to fail. That's why in planning, the idea of the planning itself, it's reverse thinking. While we are developing the idea and we're developing the projects, we need we need to break down all the possible and potential questions to be able to answer it and to take it in consideration while we are developing these projects. And when we are speaking with the students, here the students themselves, they have really a very added value, because instead of seeking for consultant when they are in the business sector journey, they have the professors with us, and they have the added values that as they are as students to reach out to any consultant, because this is the nature of the people. They will support the students rather than speaking with you as a businessman. When I'm going to provide you as a consultation as a businessman, I'm speaking with you as a business. But while you are a student, I will give you as an advice, and I will transfer my experience to you. So this is where the added value for the students could benefit, and this is where for example, we will see at the end, the ORIC centers could play this role of the bridging. Yeah, if somebody has a question, yes, we can write it in the chat and we will reply for it. No problem if it's within the topic. So how we are going to develop our thinking and our commercializing journey, let's say, a project. First of all, we need to identify the needs, and here where we are going to really have intensive market research and trends. We need to see where is really the gap is it, and we need to see what's the consumer needs and preferences. Because if you are not able to identify the trends and the needs of the market, we will be able to produce projects, but we are not going to have a successful project. It will bring out to the light, but we cannot bring it as a business. So we'll not be able to bring investors at the end. And here where we are looking to have it, and here where we are going to generate the idea. And when we are speaking about innovation, we are speaking about new technology. We don't speak about big things. Sometimes it's a very rare trick could be added to any products or services. It will change a lot of things. For example, in Pakistan, you have several what do you call it, startups and the projects ideas. One of them is going to merge between the Airbnb and the booking system, but it needs to bring the sponsor, the investors on board, because they need to put it at the beginning. The people manage to convince investors to be with them, and I think last month or 2 months ago they start also to expand their production and their application to Saudi Arabia, because they see the niche in Saudi Arabia for such activity and such thing. And it's very basic elements when you do your market research, and when you do your analysis for your customer, you see the need, you see the intersection between uh, what's the customer is in favor to have it, and what's the market is in need to have it. And here where's your role will be, and here where you need to jump and to see, as we start at the beginning, to put it in the technical part, when it's going to be the right time, and where is going to be the right time to implement it. If you are speaking about technology now, if you are speaking about technology, because it's everything in technology has been now moved toward that direction. Uh, yes, there is a lot of needs still. Yes, there is a lot of uh, ideas it's generated, but also yes, there is a lot of investors who are afraid to jump in and to produce or to invest on this production and service. We are in a process now in developing an analytic software to be able to minimize the duration of the economic analytic, financial analytics, stock market analytics. But such kind of software, although it's very important in the be interested in such thing, to be able to join you as investors or the venture capital to move forward on the direction. Again, the next step we need to work on it is how we are developing our product. What, and here where we have the academia people on board, like are we are going to work or the market, the 7 P's of the marketing, mainly activity or and method, it's really implemented here, because we need to see everything to be able to improve everything. We need to be able to change it. And for example, nowadays with what's happening on the region, let's say in the Middle East, a lot of products has been changed their packaging system to be able to apply with Gaza, for example, what's happening in Palestine. So to have additional marginally, they create their market strategy based on the support of the donation could be done for that. This is some of the innovation idea that they see. And when we see at the early stage after October, November, a lot of people has been boycott, for example, some of the American products. So a lot of local products in the region has been pop up. So they benefit from the timing. But again, they some of these products didn't complete because they mismanaged the process of developing these projects, especially when you're speaking about equality quality side or quality elements, because before they used to have a certain quality, and when you want to enter the market, although there is the need for that, we need to have the quality of yourself as any competitors. And that's why when we see about the identification of the needs, we see our quality, our competitor offering and our competitor situation. And if you want to be in that market and you want to take a part of or segment of the market, you need to see your competitors. And here the insight of the and here we see the market insight will give us the indications to be able to develop our strategy when we are going to clarify, to really put our outlines objective, and we see that all these objectives will be aligned with our strategy to be able to reach the fruitful output and outcomes from the projects itself. Definitely, to be able to reach this, we need to go through our research, like normal styles and available styles, and the one that we know. So either we can go for the survey, where we'll be able to have quantitative maybe and qualitative information. We need to conduct and to make interviews, meetings. For meetings, when we are speaking about this, we are speaking about the various stakeholders we need to put them on board for the projects. And always when we are speaking about this, we need to keep in consideration that it's more important to have the 360 stakeholders on board with us. So we're going to have our peer, our management, our clients, our competitors, the normal stakeholders tool and normal stakeholders mapping. It needs to be applied here, because those people will give a proper understanding for the situation and proper understanding for the forecasting we are going to see it, and we will go through that when we are going to apply and when we are going to test our product and service. So the major topics about this, or the major outputs from this checklist activity, is as much as possible we are going to gather information. And here, when we are going to speak about information and data, we need to take in consideration that we are going to have clear data and clear information about it. And let me answer also this question because it could be fit here. When you are going to design the cancer and see if it's safe or not, the cancer therapy, it's not something we can do it in one shot. Now, for example, there is another activity or another product is ongoing in production. And to be frank with you, we are in Egypt now to discuss about something related to cancer. There is a kind of new formula has been developed, has been tested with almost 1,082 cases and 127 doctors has been go through these surveys and analysis and discussion to be able to produce these products, and it has been took almost 5 years of investments with them to be able to took the FDA, the GM, FDA GM. We are speaking about the certification from the U.S. governments, from the European councils, to be able to ensure that this product it's not harmful in the human beings. And the study of the cancer has been improved a lot in the last 5 years. There was also a discussion about something related to what they call English now, to the cells of the cancers, how they are going to apply this. In some places they will call it medicine, and in some places they are going to call it as food supplement, actually, because the way that this product is working, he's not attacking all the cells around the cancer cell. It reach out to the cancer itself, so it works like the supplement idea, but in the negative side, meaning that it reach out to the cancer cell to attack the cancer cell, not to feed it. And in the other places they call it medicine because it fights the cancer. So this is a debate still working about it, but it has been passed to be able to speak about it. And when we are speaking about the diagnosis, the method we work on it in the last 5 years for this product, it has been mentioned that the surveys has been done for the applied among the cancer's people's patient themselves, plus interviewing them, plus interviewing the doctors, and to feel the impact of the work, how it reflects their body. Now, the second step on designing these projects is about like developing visibility study, and here where we need to take a big time really, and the data we collected before, the accurate data we collected before, it's going to reflect here. We are speaking about resources, we are speaking about the whole resources, HR resources, the tools, the equipment, anything we need to speak about related to the resources must be evaluated here. And that's why when we speak at the beginning to have a plan in the reverse thinking, because we need to know in our developing our plan, if I'm going to develop our softwares, I need to know what kind of the softwares I need to work on it. For example, what's the purpose of this software? What's going to be used for it? It will help me to know what language I need to use in this software. I'm going to use Python. I'm going to use C++, and so on. So knowing the product itself, knowing what's going to need to serve the need, I will be breaking down my activity. Based on this activity, I will need to know what kind of resources I need, what kind of qualified resources I need for this activity. Based on these qualified resources, I need to be able to see what budget I need and what's the time I'm looking to have it. If I'm going to develop an application now for or let's take it an easy way. If I'm going to develop an e-commerce website, either I can build it from scratch and it will take from me 3 to 4 months to be able to develop it, or I go for one of the available websites could provide for me basic features for these websites like WordPress, like Udo, like there's other places. Sorry, I forgot their names. It's a marketplace for websites, for e-commerce website, and you can use these website templates to be able to conduct your works within a couple of days. It always based what your business is going to be served, or you can go for what you have. For example, in Pakistan, you have a Bang. Uh, I will share with you the name of the software company, the product itself, where you will be able to be on a high level of e-commerce websites, which could serve you in developing everything related to e-commerce, including payment gateways, including logistic supply chain delivery also. So here where we are speaking back about the stakeholders, when we're speaking about these stakeholders, it's vice versa. Either we need to benefit from this experience, we need to benefit from them, or they can provide for us a service, like the product developers could be with us, like the marketeers who will going to work with us in the second stage, either financial experts who will give us a brief idea about the situation of the financial regard the products of or the activity I'm going to have it. For example, you are going to or there is a possibility to build a complex within, let's say, Karachi now or outside of Karachi. So I need to see where is going to be the location, and if I'm going to see how I'm going to develop the projects behind it, I need to have the financial expert, because those are the people who see the trends of the market and the insights of the financial market in terms of the property prices, the land price itself, and what's going forecasting the it's going to be residential or commercial buildings, or it's a complex between both, how much it's going to be cost for us if I'm going to add a mall within this complex or within this compound, what's the added value will be for the property itself, the infrastructures within the area, all these elements and factors. The financial people will give you an added value, because already they used to work on such a project. When we are speaking financial experts, we are speaking about financial experts close to the projects I'm working on it and close to the idea I'm going to develop it. So after we develop our products, definitely we develop the visibility study for it. If we have something now tangible, for example, we go for the MVP in the technical part, we have our pitch deck. And this is what early stage when we are speaking with Dr. Asma, like why we have reducing of the funding of the projects. We were in the booming side. We were in the, like any business, almost in the peak of the funding. Everybody would like to invest on entrepreneurs and startups. So everybody in the last 5-10 years was spending a lot without taking in considerations too much focusing on the impact of these projects in the long term. Nowadays, one of the elements why a lot of fund has been shrink and a lot of startups has been reduced, because the investors themselves has been changed their minds. Now, most of the investors, if you see with them, or speaking about, let's say, big and mega investors, at least they need to see the prototype. So when we are speaking about the prototype, meaning that who is going to invest with those new entrepreneurs and startup about the prototypes to be able to produce their products and to produce their or to develop their service. Conducting these prototypes, it's very important, but also you need to have successful prototype, and this is what we'll do. And again, when we develop this this prototype, we need to test it, we need to validate it to be able to ensure that the investors that are reaching out to him is going to be convinced about our products, our services, supported with the financial document and feasibility study. I'm going to provide it with them to be able to be convinced and to invest in our products we are going to present or to launch. So the second stage will be is always there is need and there is a gap and there is a window for developments. Our thinking always need to be on a way that we need to keep a door for improvement. And when you are speaking about projects, especially when you are speaking about technology projects, most of the startup, when we are working with them, they fail to keep in consideration that by the time you will be in the ground, by the time you will launch your product, definitely a lot of competitors will jump in and try to compete with you. As we discussed before about the chatbot of WhatsApp and Facebook and other things. So when we develop our products, we need always to keep in mind that when we are going to launch these products, we need to launch maximum 80% of this product's feature. And we need to keep 20% of these features with us. Because when the competitors will jump with us on the ground and be in the field with us, we need to be able to directly inject our additional feature which is already developed, already tested, already is in the system with us, to be able to keep us ahead with the features that the others has been developed. And that's why when we speak about this, we speak about our goals to be smarter. Not only smart, but also it needs to be smarter. If it's going to be smart, it will be like, yes, you develop a nice goal, you develop nice projects, but then if you don't implement it, if you don't put it into action, it will be a nice story, tell it to your baby before going to sleep. So always these smart goals needs to be smarter, meaning that we need to do our job, we need to do our work, we need to implement it to be able to evaluate it, and we need to make the record for this. And one of the key factors we face it within the startups, and when we discuss with the startups that has been failed, they didn't reward each other. Like some people, they didn't even say maybe thank you for others because they don't have the time, or they forgot to say it, or they see that this is something it's their duty to do it. But as a human being, we like to be rewarded, and that's why reward is very important part. And the record for this activity, it's very important because the record of this activity, the record of the journey, it's important for us to see where's our gap, where we have been failed, to be able to improve and to be able to generate another idea, another features, and to avoid the mistake that we have been face it or we fail on it in our journey, and how we can emphasize and improve our skills in the activity that has been success for us on reaching to our goals and objectives. And here I think where the ORIC centers needs to play the role between the private sector and the academy. They need to play this link, they need to play this bridge between them, because we see that this center could facilitate the collaborative researches because they are an outreach direct to the private sector. They can promote the technology that the students have been developed within the institution, so they will be able to transfer it for the private sector for the field. They can provide the entrepreneurship because they can bring now the private sector to the entrepreneurship. You are speaking about bringing the private sector and supporting them in the whole aspects. You are speaking about financial, technology, know-how. Even one of the major important the private sector could bring within the ORIC Center is the gap in the private sector. What's the private sector is looking for, how they can improve, or what's the problem they are facing on the future. And here where's the Silicon Valley, actually they have a very nice institutional activity where if you start to have the products and it has been developed and tested, always you will see the like the Tycoon company jump in and buy this silicon valley. And here why we come back and see why there is a lot of the entrepreneurs and startups has been created because they saw the potential of this technology and the potential of these projects and tried to keep it with them or to acquire it because they don't want to have or to see a problem or facing problem and some people who are sharing their market. And one of the last example about this is the snapshot where Facebook was planning to purchase Snapchat and now and they refuse at the end. But currently there is discussion about the Snapchat that is going to be finalizing a deal. Nobody knows with whom, but it seems like Google is going to acquire Snapchat to be able to benefit from their activity and from their experience. The fourth elements that the Oryx Center could play is conducting the industrial outreach because being with the private sector, meaning you are going to be direct with the people who will benefit from your experience and will not experience will benefit from your innovation idea actually and benefit from your solutions where they will be able to apply it within their industry. And at the end, if you put all this together, definitely you are creating kind of innovative ecosystem where all those could be getting out with win-win-win and win situation for them. Again, like the audit could be the facilitating researchers, the promoting of innovative, supporting our commercialization, because they will be able to have it direct based on the market read. They will enhance the collaborations and definitely, and one of the major things, and this why we will see how some countries are investing a lot on this, driving the economic growth because they will be able to reduce a lot the budget and the expenses has been uh, like budgeted for the research and for the development. Thank you. I hope you are on time. Yeah. So if there's
Yes,
any
thank you.
questions.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Badih, for the insightful presentation. Actually, you rightly mentioned that most of the startups or spin-offs, they don't, focus on the idea validation mostly, and it is very important and crucial, aspect of launching their startup or spin-off technologies towards the market. Do you think all these consequences are important when many of these startups or these spin-offs they face the death valley, and the sustainability issues are there, specifically when young generations they bring their startup into the market, and after 1 or 2 years they usually discourage about the activities of their spin-offs. So what do you think about that? What are the consequences on this issue?
Change the register Maslotiva PG Verda Kamnatika.
Look, such kind of activity nowadays, and clearly you mentioned why there is a lack now of funding, because investors they are facing now, like let's take it, 5 years ago, the investors they will have in their desk almost 10, 15, let's say, startup are looking for investing and are looking for support, let's say per year. Now, per month, they are having 50 investors, 50 startup is looking to seek their support and their fund. The investors has been changed from their mind. there is a lot of the market now has been developed, but we still have in the same sequence the idea of presenting. We didn't do validation, yes, and that's why one of the key elements now, if you see, and if the investors and the acquisition has been focusing on it, is how can I ensure that your product is functioning properly, especially when we're speaking about people who don't have experience in the ground. And mainly 99% of the people who are seeking these acquisitions or who are looking for investors as a startup or entrepreneurs, they don't have previous experience on the ground. We have an idea, we develop it, we do our pitch deck, and that is it. That's why one of the major elements has been pop up like since 2 years now is how is your product functioning? Or do you have deficit in your products? What's the validation of your products? And here, as you clearly mentioned it, yes, there is a need for all these steps to be implemented, to be validated, to be able to move forward. And if you manage to put the stakeholders together in the proper way, we will be able potentially to build our MVP. Because the small circle or the close circle to you is the circle who mainly will believe in your idea. And they are the circle who you are going to test your idea with them and to give you the confirmation and the validation. If this small circle are not able to support you in this is going to be, again, one of the problem you are going to have it in the near future. Because if you go to the market and you are not able to start with the small group around you, it's like any business, mainly you are not going to success. I always describe this, it's like a cake. In the cake, or if you don't have the proper ingredients to develop and to produce this cake, at the end you will have a cake. It will be within your refrigerators for a while, and then it will be thrown out. Nobody will come, nobody will taste. So it will be proper ingredient, proper packaging, proper presenting, proper taste. Here where you will see like the validation, the 7Ps or the market makes, the visibility, it's nice. All these are mixed together to be able to provide what we call the MVP with you now, if you are speaking about technology especially, and to be tested. And if you are speaking about the technology, about the MVP, we are speaking about small scales. When you are speaking about the stakeholders, your major stakeholders in the product development, it's your friend within the second class. If you are in the engineering part, you need some people from the managerial or the management college. You need students from the marketing department to provide you with the proper marketing, to provide you with the proper researches in the ground. And you need the engineering or the computer science people to develop your products. And one of the major elements we didn't always keep him or keep attention for him is the PR person, the presenter person, who's going to present your products. In some products, we need to have some person who know the products very well. No need to know the technical part of the products, but he know the products. He know the feature of the products. They will brief him about the products. But this person, he had the skill, he had the capacity, he had the ability to be able to present the products, to speak about it, to demonstrate it, not to speak in technical part, but to demonstrate these products. And if the technical people will jump in, then he will refer to the technical people to speak about it in technical way. But this person, it's one of the major composition of the first team we need to work on it. Because the people mainly who are focusing on the products or the developing of the projects and the products, they are mainly, or most of the time, they are technical people and managerial people. They are not marketing people or PR people to be able to elaborate more about them.
Yeah, I know that, Dr. Badih. It means team building is very crucial for our research group, that in which all the domains should be covered. for the business plan, how if you have a strong business plan, so you can easily be pitched in front of industries, and you can grasp the attention of the industrial representatives. Now we will move on towards the question answer sessions. We have one question from Dr. Rubina. She was asking, can we design our project in field of diagnosis of cancer and its therapy for the safe side?
Yes, definitely.
Because
Any
there are the chemotherapies, because I have designed one thing which was all my project in which I have won it. It was done in urine. I did my pilot program on the blood sample, and then I plan to write it for it. In the same way, when I go and meet the people in the cancer centers, in different cancer centers, whether I go to JPMC, I go to Darussehat, I go to Cancer Foundation. When I look to that, the therapy which the chemo they are using, some of them are not responding. What is the reason? It is never seen over there, and without respond of that therapy, they have to stay. The therapy is stopped. They go to the worst condition. There is a lot of side effect. Like in brain, we cannot give the chemotherapy. We have to give the radiotherapy, but over here they use the chemotherapy. Should we look for those different tissue markers where we can find to whom to use chemotherapy, whom to use radiotherapy, and whom to use both? Can we do this project like that?
For sure, you can do it. And
because there are 6 classes of these tissues which are released from the nucleus, and these nucleuses give the product over there. So they make then in that way we can convince the doctors to use first, go for the diagnosis of this, which type of the tissue is more effective for this therapy, because for therapy we use these has to be reduced, and when there is 0 level and then you are using that therapy, naturally he or she who is having a cancer using a chemotherapy is going to have a side effect on it. So
okay,
can we write it on that?
doctor, there is 2 things you need to keep in your mind. First of all, you are working and you are going to fight one of the biggest army in the world, which is the pharmaceutical side, pharmaceutical factors company. But developing this survey or this project, definitely, as you are speaking now in the conceptual designs, as you are speaking, what you are going to do with this, we need to do 1, 2, 3. Why we want to do this? Because also you mentioned it and you answered that question now. Because the people who use, or in the brain, we cannot use the chemo. We need to use the radiotherapy for that.
Yes.
Now, you need to go for this, and you need to think like this. You need to think in reverse way. You need to put the problem with you and break it down. Break it down meaning you need to go to the root cause for every question you raise it now. Why the people on the centers are not applying what you are speaking about? Because maybe you will reach at the end that we need to work on the awareness session, not on the practical session, for example. We need to create awareness community about this also. Yes, we have some problems within the doctors, because maybe the doctors in some place they are benefit from going to the chemotherapy rather than having the radiotherapy. So there is a lot of questions that will be raised on this, and it will take us to the second or the third slide where we were discussing about your intensive market research about it. Your sampling will be about 1, 2, 3. You need to have the different stakeholders. You are speaking about doctors who are providing this chemotherapy or this radiotherapy, and you need to have the patient themselves. to have the patient themselves and to follow up with their study, you need to have their approval. So when we are speaking about the resources, we need to keep these resources also on mind. When we are speaking about the timing of the projects, to be able to here, when we are speaking about the evaluation of your feasibility, when we are speaking about the timeline of this project, how long it will take. Definitely, if I'm going to see GMB, if I'm going to see the FDA, I need at least to go for a scale of sampling for a duration time. So this need to be taken in consideration. Definitely, such kind of activity will not be finished within 1 or 2 years. It takes at least 3 to 5 years.
At least it will take 5 to 6 years. It's not a
Yeah.
short. It will take more than that. It might go for more than that also. Because I'm thinking if once the doctor planned that he or she has to go for the treatment, for the chemo or radio, whatever, before that we diagnose which tissue classification is awaited by the nucleases. If we diagnose that, then we can give the idea, use this. We can make a small pilot project, first work on it, and when we get the result according to what we are thinking, then go ahead with it, which will be
That's
a benefit. Because in many cases I've seen they are given the chemo, after one time they have been removed because chemo did not shoot, they went to the radio. By the time they went to the, after one radio, the person passed away. He passed away
that's
and he
why
died. So why not
doctor.
first, before making the plan, because the question arises, first is the amount, second arises the time period, and third arises the success of the treatment.
That's why when we
Mm.
speak about identifying needs, we speak first about your research, market, and trend. Meaning
That
you
is the
need.
first step I'm talking about it, because
Yeah.
I have been working on the hepatitis C. When the interferon started, I worked with the Sarvajahan Zubairi. Late, she passed away. This is it. But I said, the first question the patient comes and asks, how long? The doctor does not have how long he or she has to take the interferon. Whether
Yeah.
it's because that is the
uh,
genotype going to tell us. So
because
that
in
genotype was invented because of that. Whole genome
because
was sequenced, and then it was find out that we should look for 3A and the 2, which is the common in
yeah,
Pakistan. That
yeah,
is the way we did.
but
And the
replying.
pioneer in developing the antenatal diagnosis for the thalassemia.
Regarding, as you are speaking, you are totally right, and that's why regarding your question, if we can design a project for that, yes, we can do it.
If I
Yes, we
get
can
your
design.
email, I have written something, I will work with it, and I might share with you.
Yeah, I'll be more pleasure to help you and support you in this one. No
Because the
problem.
one project which I'm working in the world, it's done only in Canada, and they have worked on the urine. I'm working with the blood, and in the suspected cases, first I did the pilot. Out of 27, only 2 I found out they were suspected cancer. We went for the biopsy, and it came true. Yes, they got a cancer, and there is an atypical cell. So I went in the breast cancer and in the lung cancer and the oral. So I'm working. Now I want
Definitely,
to work on
yeah.
the therapy.
Definitely, we can work on this, and definitely we can put you in touch with the people who are really working on this field. Don't be worried, doctor. Most welcome.
We should think in
So
that
I
way,
think,
because
Dr.
things
Rubina,
are becoming expensive. Chemo is very expensive in Pakistan, and every patient cannot afford to go for it.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
why we are developing something for that as
Am I
away
mute?
from banking. But no, Doctor Asma, I'm speaking to you.
Okay,
But Doctor
okay.
Gilligas, don't be worried. I will take your contacts from Doctor Asma, and
Yeah.
we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch regardless. Don't be worried about this. We'll
Sure.
be able
Yeah,
to
by
contact.
seeing the enthusiasm of our honorable professor, so we need to, establish a focus group on these
Yep.
kind of special issues, and later on we can discuss individually, right? So if anyone else has a question, you can raise. So we are running short of time. So I think no other question in our chat
Thank
box.
you, Abdullah and Abdul, and I'm really grateful you answered. And inshallah, I'll be in touch with you after Eid because I have written the plan and I'm planning to apply somewhere outside. And I am having a discussion and they like the project a lot. It has got 6 classes, and I said in beginning I should look for the 2 classes because firstly on the self-pilot I need the funds, which is very hard.
Yeah.
With pleasure. I know this is always the case. This is always the tricky part.
I will with you, inshallah, very soon.
Thank you,
Pleasure,
Dr. Rubina. Thank you very much. I think we don't have any other question. So as we come to the end of our webinar, I would really like to extend a sincere thank to Dr. Abdul Badih Al Dada for sharing his expertise with us today. I also want to thank all of the participants for your active participation and engagement and thoughtful questions throughout the session. So with all that, I wish all you a great day ahead, and we look forward to seeing you in our future events. Dr. Abdul Badih, do you have any insights to share at the end? So we can end with your thoughts.
No, for me, I'm more than happy to be on board and to have this like humble experience about what we are facing now in the ground with the startups and how we can minimize the gaps at least between at the bridge between the private sector and the academia. And I'm really available whenever you want to discuss more about this to have and to speak more about it. And yeah, the change of the world has been forced us to change our mind and dealing and how we are going to see the future in another perspective, and to be able to also to convey this to our students, to themselves also start working in shifting mind and thinking ahead for the future and benefit from their duration within the university, to take it as an opportunity to build and start building their future, because you are around them, all the doctors and professors around them, they can share their experience. Not only we are discussing about 1 or 2 projects, but you as a doctors, you are facing a lot of students, or you are in touch with a lot of students across years, so you have really a very fruitful and big basket of information and idea, and to be able to convey and to reduce the time and the efforts on the students. Thank you very much, Doctor, and any kind what do you call it, activities like this, I'm more than happy to share with you again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Badih, for your support, and inshallah we will collaborate in future, and we will start the special focus groups to promote our research and to collaborate with your expertise, and hopefully we can launch another spin-offs from Sohail University. So thank you very much, and at this moment, I would like to say goodbye for everyone. This is Dr. Asma Tabassum, Director Auric, Sohail University, signing out from this webinar. And thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Badih, and all the participants. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, and Eid Mubarak. Allah Hafiz.
Eid Mubarak in advance. Thank you.